Hey guys, Simon from Chimney Cylinders. Thanks for watching. Today in this episode we're going to show you how to fit an NH150 Predator Power motor into a Scott Bonnar Model 45. So there it is, the NH150. As you can see, it's quite a compact unit. I've gone ahead and fitted the clutch half there already. One thing I do like about this engine is the design. It's straight up and down with the piston there, so you're not getting that pull like some of the other engines have. I mean, it's very slight, but you know, keeping that piston running up and down is surely going to be a little bit nicer on your rails. I do like that the exhaust faces forward, and it is a very compact design. So if you are a taller person and you want your bars to be able to be set more upright, then this is going to be allowing you to get those bars more upright than say something like the Briggs and Stratton. All right, so let's get into how to fit it. Okay, so prior to fitting it on your mower, you need to loosen this 10mm bolt here and remove it completely. You also need to release this 10mm bolt, but leave it in situ because you don't want that whole arm falling out. So basically you want it to look similar to that. Get a piece of paper and lay it on top of your rails. This will protect your paint while you're installing the engine. Make sure you put your thrust pad, your cone, and your other clutch half on, ready to mate up to the engine. Don't forget to repack this bearing in here and install the spring. Right, now you want to lift your motor, put it on top of your rail and marry it up. Okay, so the motor is now installed, sitting on this piece of paper, protecting the paint from any damage. Now what you want to do is sort of line this up together and then insert the 3 bolts that hold this together. So we're installing these bolts all the way through. Now what that's going to do is we're starting to line everything up here. So basically we're lining everything up to make sure as we're bolting it together it's where it should be. Now this is a very vital part just here. You need to remove this piece of paper carefully, otherwise you might damage your paint. So just lift the motor up slightly, slide that piece of paper out, and we're ready to start bolting it up. Okay, so make sure you use the bolts that come with it. They're slightly shorter than the standard Scott Bonnar bolts. So as you can see, the reason for that is a normal Scott Bonnar bolt won't fit between there and there. So I like to put the first one in at the front to line everything up and give it a slight little wiggle until you can see the hole at the bottom, and put that one through. Wind it all the way down, but we don't want to tighten everything up just yet. You'll also note that I've also got the nuts put on the backs of the bolts that I've fed through the clutch halves, and that's just basically to stop it all from falling around. So I just want to nip it up slightly. I'm just putting a little bit of tension on it just so I know that it's down in the holes and we're grabbing, and then I can flick it around and do the back. Now this is where it can be that little bit trickier. We talked earlier about why we removed this here. So go ahead, get your bolts. Front one goes in, no dramas at all. Okay, that one's started. The other one, put that one in now. So the reason why we moved that bracketry out of the way is just so we can feed the head up and then back down inside the bolt hole. It's only 2 extra bolts. It is a little bit fiddly, but you will get it. So in my instance, I've grabbed the wrong size bolt. So I need to grab one that's going to suit this. So I'll go and grab that now. and we'll be back. So that's the size difference that you can see there, the two. Okay. Not much in it. That's all it is. So make sure you're using the ones that come with your motor, or if you don't have them come with the motor, get smaller bolts, that size. Okay, so as we discussed, smaller bolt, straight up, drop her in. This is where you line everything up. Just try and feel for the hole, and then in she goes. Now you can line those down. I always like to clean the thread holes out prior to fitting an engine, just so everything goes in nicely. As you can see, I've wound everything down pretty well by hand all the way to the bottom. Now this is where you reinstall that 10mm that we pulled out, we talked about. So that bracketry just sits back in there, line that back up, then we'll go ahead and tighten those two 10mm, hold that bracket on. So it's pretty simple. The reason for that is just because that bracketry does get in the way and causes dramas trying to get the bolt in. But once it's reinstalled, it's all good. So go ahead, tighten those up. And I also recommend, unless you're running a throttle cable, I recommend just because that throttle will not hold as is, right? So I just recommend getting your 10mm while you're in here, tightening up that one bolt there, just so it puts a bit more resistance on that bracketry to hold that throttle in place. Okay, so now it's holding in place and it's not returning, so it's able to hold revs. So don't over tighten it, just nip it up just to hold a little bit more pressure on that, okay? Okay, there it is. All 4 bolts have been secured and tightened down. Go ahead then and tighten your 3 bolts here to make sure it's all tight. And then you have your engine completely installed. So these engines come in black, blue and red. You can get them on the Predator Power Products website. You can also get them through Old Time Parts, Jason Cushway. And I like them. They're a really good engine. They start really easily. They're super quiet, and I think you'll be pretty happy with them if you buy one. And their price point is pretty good too. So for around the $200 or $209 or whatever they are, you get one. So that's pretty cool. Thanks for watching, guys. Give this video a like if you liked it, and it helps me put up more content. Cheers.